So my husband just finished cutting all our pieces. These are cedar pieces that we got at Lowe's. These ones are 2x6s, and we cut these down. These are going to be the long sides of our garden box. So these ones are, I think, 46 inches long. Our whole box is going to be about 48 inches long, but I'll have a link down below to the plans. Then these are the side slat pieces, and these ones I think were 15 inches, again out of the 2x6. And then our legs are out of 2x4 cedar pieces, and these are 36 inches. And then we have leg support pieces here, and those are again out of the 2x4, and those are I think 22 inches long. And then these are the runners that the box is going to actually sit on. So my husband is on his trip back to Lowe's, and we're going to get the runner pieces that are going to go underneath, and the wire mesh and screws, because we underestimated, and he thought we had more screws and I told him we needed screws. But anyways, so he's off to Lowe's to get more screws and the rest of the supplies that we need, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So I went ahead and just laid out the long side of our garden box here, just to make sure that everything fits right and it's going to look okay. So this is essentially what we're looking at. We've got our leg piece here and the little support piece that our runner is going to go onto. And then in between here I just used some scrap board until we get the slats cut that are going to go underneath and provide the support going across, just to get my spacing right here. And then our two long side pieces are the edges of the bed, the raised garden bed, and then our other leg here. So this is about how it's going to look. And then it'll have short sides that are going to be about 18 inches deep. It's our garden box, so it'll be 48 inches by 18 inches deep, and then 36 inches tall. So yeah, I'm going to start just building the boxes that are going to be the inside of the garden bed, and then from there we'll attach those to the rest of the frame and the supports. So I'm going to get started on gluing those together. I got one of these boxes done. You can see if I can lift it. I just put 2 screws on the end of each of these 2x6s to connect them to the cross piece there. I found it was easier to build it if I stood it up rather than trying to do it on the ground. And I took a video, but my husband called halfway through the video and I didn't realize it shut off. So sorry about that. But I have one of them done, and then this one is mostly done. Oh, here's my shadow. This one's mostly done. The bottom piece is on, but I ran out of screws, so I just have 1 screw there, and then I'm waiting for my husband to get home so I can put in the other 3 screws and finish that one. But this will give you an idea of how I assemble them. So I just lay the cross pieces out, and then I put the piece across and lined up one corner, drilled both of those screws in, and then moved the piece over, the cross piece over, and lined that up, and then put those screws in, and then flip it over and add the piece on top. So just waiting for those screws, and then we'll be able to finish that up. Also, you guys, before I forget, these are the screws that I used to put them together originally. I don't know what my husband's going to bring home, but this is what we had on hand. We used these to put together our garden boxes over here. So they've worked out really well. So we just had a couple of these left, so I went ahead and used the rest of these. We got them at Lowe's, and they're made for outside, so they hold up really well. So yeah, empty box. But yeah, we'll see what he comes home with. I'm not totally sure. He may get the same thing. But either way, it'll work, and we'll be able to finish it up. Okay, my husband came back with the screws. He came back with the same ones, which is awesome, because I already have the drill bit on my drill. So I'm taking the 36-inch leg piece and the 22-inch support piece, and I'm going to line them up just on the end here, so we get a nice flat bottom to the leg. And then I'm using those 2.5-inch deck screws, and I'm just going to put a couple screws, probably 4 screws in here to hold it on. And what I like to do is pre-drill my holes. The deck screws you don't have to pre-drill with, just because of the nature of the screw, but I still like to pre-drill just because it's a little easier for me, and it makes sure that the wood doesn't split on me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back. I'm going to just repeat it 3 more times for all 4 of the legs, and then we'll be ready for the next step. Alright, so I got all the legs built, and here my husband cut the slats that go on the bottom of the box part. So we just kind of laid those out, and I still need to screw those in. And then I went ahead and set up my legs here. So I'm going to attach this runner piece. It just sits on top of these leg supports. Just going to use those same deck screws and screw those in on both sides, and then repeat it for the other side of the box. Both of my long legs are done. So my assistant is going to get her hat, my little 6-year-old. She's going to be my assistant and time these screws. And I'm going to work on putting the slats onto the box here. And then I think we'll be ready to put it together. Good one. Alright, so I have my trusty assistant here, and she's helping me to mark on the bottom of these slats where our screws are, because we're going to end up drilling into our runner pieces, and we don't want to drill into the screws that we just put in to hold the slats on. So we're just, I'll zoom in here so you can see. I'm just having her draw a straight line out from where the screw is, and then when I get ready to screw it in from the bottom, I'll just put my screws, you know, around there so that I don't hit them. Okay, I moved over to a flatter surface to attach the legs to the boxes here. So right now, I have both boxes sitting still on top of each other, but they're not attached. So they're just kind of sitting on there for height. And I went ahead and I put the leg piece with the cross beam on top. And in order to make it the right height so that the cross beam would sit on top of the slats that we just screwed in, I used some of the scrap cedar fencing there that we use for the slats and just put it underneath as a spacer to raise it up so that our legs would sit right on top. So I'm just squaring that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a couple screws across here to hold that on, and repeat it for the other side. Alright, so the bottom part of our box is attached here. I went ahead and stood it up, and you can see how it's looking. So I'm going to add at least 1 screw, maybe hopefully 2. I'm running out of screws again. To attach the bottom box here to the leg piece, and then we'll be ready to put the top on. It is all together, guys. So I ended up just putting 1 screw right in the middle because I've got 2 screws coming in from this board into my cross piece here. So I have them coming in like this, and I wanted to make sure I didn't hit it. Plus, it's on there really good. So 1 screw should be sufficient. If once we move it over to where it's going to be, if it feels a little wobbly, I'll go ahead and add a 2nd screw in there. But there we go. That's how it looks. Looks really good. So what we have is some wire mesh that's going to go on the bottom here. I'm going to use my staple gun and just attach that. And then we have some of that black like weed barrier that you put when you're planting flowers or putting down mulch and stuff. That's going to go over and just kind of line the whole box. And then we can fill it with dirt and start planting. I'm so excited to have an herb garden this year. Can't wait. Alright, so we went ahead and put the wire mesh in the bottom here. My husband actually cut it out with our like wire cutters because he's much stronger than I am. And so yeah, he cut it to fit. He cut it a little bit smaller than the actual inside size. That way we didn't have to bend it or cut twice. So we put that down, and I don't know if you can see him, but I just used my staple gun and added a couple staples in there to make it stick. I don't have a heavy-duty staple gun. This is what I used. So I have that, and then we used this weed barrier, and I'm kind of wrapping it almost like a present. So I did this side over here. You can see I cut it larger than I needed, and then I just cut down this side here, and then the excess I'm going to fold over and just put probably 2 staples to hold that in. And then once I get it all in there, I'm just going to go around and cut off the extra little bit that's hanging over the edges here. And then I can fill it with dirt. We're going to be filling our herb box with 2 different kinds of soil, all from Lowe's. So this one is a flower, vegetable, garden soil. And then we also have this Miracle-Gro raised bed soil. So we're going to end up mixing the 2 together inside the vegetable box so we get a good combination of fertilizer and soil to help these herbs grow. Before we add that soil in, I'm just going to show you guys the finished box here. So I trimmed the weed barrier down just a little bit under the top here. You'll probably still be able to see it through the soil, I'm thinking, but that's totally fine with me because once the herbs grow in, you're not going to really see it over the leaves and stuff. So it turned out pretty good. And the wire mesh is helping to support the weed barrier here. And the weed barrier will keep the soil from going through those slats and onto the cement slab below. So I'm going to grab the soil and start putting it in. Okay, I got everything planted. We've got peppermint, we have cilantro, a chocolate mint that my 6-year-old picked out and was super excited about because it smells like chocolate. Italian parsley, sweet basil, rosemary, it's in the back. And then we planted oregano seeds and thyme seeds. So we'll see how those ones sprout. Where's the chocolate one? It's right there. Look, it has a picture of chocolate cupcake with mint leaves on it. That's how you know it's the chocolate one.
I can't smell it.
You can't smell it? Here. How about if I take off a little leaf? You can smell it. It smells good, huh? So, yeah, so there's our box. I'm going to get it watered, and then we'll just wait for those seeds to grow. I am so excited, you guys. This turned out perfect, and it fits really well against our shed here. And it's perfect because it's right next to our garden. And now I want to make some more just for flowers. So leave me a comment. Let me know, what are your favorite flowers to grow? Maybe I'll have to get some seeds or some plants. Don't cut that, baby. Oh, you almost got busted. So, anyways, hope you guys are having a good week. And I'll be back with an update soon. Bye.